Welcome to Friday 5 Questions. This week, I'm speaking with Ben Fox, founder of Matrix Events, which he launched in 2018 and based in Denver, Colorado. His events agency delivers large conferences, trade shows, meetings, and brand experiences, all with a creative and clever twist. In just 7 years, Ben has produced over $10 million worth of events, spanning 1,000 projects across 32 states and 4 countries. So let's get into the interview. Ben Fox, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and the business that you're running, and over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Nick, for this opportunity. I was really excited to hear from you. It's been a long time since we've connected. I think we've known each other for, over a decade at least. So it was really
Correct.
neat to reconnect and talk events. It's my favorite topic to talk about.
Mine
So
too.
there you go. Yeah. So to introduce myself, my name is Ben Fox. I've been in the event business about 24 years now. It's kind of wild to think about. And I started Matrix Events in late 2018. I actually strangely got laid off from an event company and took that severance check to start Matrix Events. We are a global event agency based in Denver, Colorado. We have a team of about 10 people. We focus on live, hybrid, virtual, and on-demand projects. During the pandemic, we had it's called a pandemic kiss. We grew 200% year on year because we pivoted hard to virtual events, and we still offer virtual events as one of our core competencies. We actually did a really cool one yesterday. I would say that most of our work is actually focused on the live event sector, about 85% now, and only a small section of virtual. But we really believe in the power of virtual events, and we continue to push it. But what pays the bills is the live events at this point.
Absolutely. The same for most people, right?
I think so. I
But
think
it's
so.
so inspiring that you were able to turn the pandemic into business.
Yeah, I grew up in my dad's business, which actually was Matrix Associates. That's where those letters come from.
Love that. That's
And he always
awesome.
said, never let a good crisis go to waste. So I saw the pandemic as an opportunity, and I actually see
Yes.
the current economy as an opportunity right now to do some different things.
100%.
So
100%.
we
Awesome.
zig, they zag kind of thing, right? So
That, I love that. Yeah, and just to and just to tell the story, we met in Singapore, like you said, over a decade ago. You were running a big global events company at the time, and we got to know each other then.
yeah, that's right. And that's actually been one of I know I'm kind of jumping ahead a bit, but that's one of the
That's
secrets to my
fine.
success, I would say, is that I have been blessed with working for 4 different event agencies over the years and reporting directly to the owner. And that really gave me a lot of
Yeah.
what to do, but maybe more importantly, what not to do.
This the stepping stone. Well, exactly. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So, 5 questions, and the first one is, how do you find clients, Ben?
Sure. Well, that's probably the hardest thing for anybody, especially in a startup mode. I still remember the first dollar I put in my bank in 2019 and that client, and it was very special to me, obviously. So I basically built up my career, as I mentioned earlier. I was blessed with working for some great agencies all around the world and reporting to owners, and I formed my own relationships with potential clients and kept up those relationships. I use LinkedIn very strongly, always posting on LinkedIn. One of the things that I'd love to share with your audience is that no one can take away your personal brand and what you're posting on LinkedIn. If you get fired, you still carry that with you, your personal brand. And I made sure to really focus on my personal brand on LinkedIn. And that's where I've gotten almost all of my jobs. And it's because I
Wow.
think I formed myself as an event pro. People saw me on LinkedIn. I built trust, and that's how I got future jobs. And that's a lot of ways of how I get future clients as well. But mostly it's referrals and it's repeat business. So we
Referral.
really focus on
Yeah.
doing amazing work and having repeating clients. And we have the very first client that I mentioned, the very first dollar, we still have that very same client. So that's really what we focus on because it's so hard to go get new clients.
It is hard. It's much easier to develop existing clients than find new clients, right? I mean, that's the old saying.
Definitely. And then also building the account. So I'll have one client in a big corporation, and after they love us, I'm like, who else do you know?
Yeah,
We'll
you're
do some
moving in,
introductions.
moving in.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
building that account essentially, that's sort of been the secret to our success, I would say.
the hustle entrepreneurial brain, sort of seeing every opportunity and opening every door and seeing what's there.
That's right. And don't be afraid. You have to be brave and ask those hard
Yeah,
questions and kick down doors. And sometimes you're going to get a no, and that's fine. I always view getting a no is one more step to getting the yes. That's
I
how I
love
would.
that. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, next question. What is the hardest thing about running your business?
Well, I think we just talked about it. Getting new business is probably one of
Okay.
the hardest things, but also I would say, and it's probably more personal, is people, managing people. I've
Okay.
realized through my journey that I really love being an entrepreneur and I love startup mode and I love building something. But after we got past $1 million of revenue, it becomes more you're a CEO, you're a manager, you're a day-to-day manager of people.
Leadership.
Leadership, yeah, and I think that I've got that, but I don't enjoy it as much as the startup and entrepreneurial
Right.
mode. So I've identified that I
Yeah.
really need to go get great managers to help me manage the team, and that's what we've done. And I also have a great partner, who you know, Nick, and
Yes, I do.
she helps in that tremendously. Her heart and her empathy and her just ability to build a team has really dovetailed nicely with my ability to go sell stuff, essentially.
It's interesting because you're obviously partners in life and partners in business. So how does that work? That must be kind of, it's got its ups and downs, right?
It's incredibly challenging. Full transparency, I'm not ashamed to say that we've had a lot of couples counseling, and it works.
Good,
Yeah, and
good.
it works.
Anyone out there, go for it. Couples
Yeah, we really
counseling.
had to learn how to communicate in the office in a different way as at home, and
Right.
also figure out kind of who's in charge in the office and who's in charge at home. And so we
Oh,
sort of started to figure out very clear lines so that you don't get all muddled and stuff, and then not bringing that stuff home, you know? And we've got two little kids,
yeah.
and so
Wow.
it just, we had to make it work. We had to make it
You
work.
had
And
to make it work. But
yeah.
there's nothing like having someone on your side, like full loyalty, because when you're running a business, you're at the top, you're the leader of the pack, and you need to make sure everyone is on your side. But it's you're still in a, you're the leader boss, you're Mr. Boss Man, and you've still got that sort of boss employee mentality. So when you've got someone like your partner working for you, there's a lot more loyalty, and that can be really helpful, I find.
Yeah, and we also hired her brother, and we hired
Oh,
my wife's mom occasionally to do some
it's in the
financial stuff.
family.
Yeah, and it is. You're right. It's a lot about trust. It's like we know they have our back. They're not
Yeah,
gonna let us down. I mean, I mean, I could tell stories about HR issues over the last 7 years. That's the biggest challenge, and it's sometimes the biggest
yeah,
stress because like I try so hard to be good, and sometimes it's not reciprocated.
I
It's a
know.
pretty cutthroat
And
world.
it's hard to instill the passion that you have in your business into
Yes.
essentially an employee. And also, it is a stressful industry. And so what I
Yes.
found was the burnout rate was quite high. So
Yes.
just to keep sort of momentum, energy, passion, interest, it's tough.
Yes. And so what we do is we invest a lot in our team. We do an ambassador of fun every month and we go out, we give them a budget and they go out plan a fun event like axe throwing or
Oh,
sushi tasting or so every month we're like
okay.
bonding as a team. And that's been very important because as you said, this is a very stressful industry and you really got to take care of your
Yeah.
people or they're going to be gone. They just have to be. It's just too hard,
It
sometimes.
is it is very hard. Also I find that if you've got 10 employees, you almost have to have 10 parts of your brain thinking for 10 people. Do you
Yes.
find that?
Yes, and that maybe is what I'm not so good at. I'm more of a
Because
laser
it's the
focus.
delegation, right, exactly. So it's a
Yes,
delegation
yes.
issue. So it's trying to
Yeah.
find like hierarchies and, paths of, yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
it's
it
it's
is tough.
complicated. It's complicated.
It's
That's why I'm
tough.
I'm lucky to have a great partner that's really good at that kind of thing.
So she's a bit mama bear in the office.
Completely, yes. Yes, I'm the
Yeah.
rainmaker and she takes care of everybody and it's a really good partnership.
See,
Yeah.
you found your way.
I
Cool. All
did. I did. And
right.
she's actually a nurse. So she just like went along for the ride.
She's
So
she's bringing healing energy into the office and making it
exactly. Healing energy.
making
Yes.
everyone happy, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So third question, if you were to start again, what would you do differently?
Yeah, I think that I'm looking at my notes, and I think overall it would be around people again. I think I discounted investing in people early. I think
Yeah.
I maybe hired entry level people in the beginning because of budgets. And I never really hired a salesperson, which I really need because I'm the sole salesperson. So I think my advice there would be is don't be afraid to invest in yourself and your team and your people and developing your team, even when you can't afford it. It's sort of like build it and they will come. So you have to like
Yeah.
double down sometimes, I feel like, and just be like, I'm feeling good about this. I love this person. I think they're amazing. Maybe I can't afford them right now, but I'm going to go for it. And I wish I'd been a bit more brave in that area.
Yeah.
than
Isn't
just hiring like
hindsight,
entry
yeah.
level, you know?
But
So
hindsight's a beautiful thing, right? Because when you're in those first stages and you just don't see the business in front of you, then you're like, God, can I afford this? How do I do this? Yeah. So it's a cart before the horse mentality
totally.
situation.
And my other thing on there was get funding. Like I know it sounds strange, but take on some debt, take on some risk. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, I'm telling people to take a risk, get some funding. It's available out there in at least in the U.S. I'm sure in the U.K. as well. Get some funding so you can get that cash flowing and
Yeah.
hire the best people you can afford, and maybe even scare yourself a little with someone that maybe even
Yeah.
getting paid more than you at the time, because that's what's going to
Yeah.
build the business.
It is true. It is a roll of the dice, but it's also, with the right strategy, you can actually just do it. And
Yes.
it's a been and there and done that thing. I mean, there are many event companies doing very, very well. You just need to copy and paste a little bit, right?
It's true. It's true. And
Yeah.
they all started at the first dollar, just like all of us.
We all did it. Yeah. And it depends how, sometimes if it can take a couple of years before it gets going. And like you
Totally.
said, if you had have just invested earlier on, you might actually get going quicker. So.
Correct. Yeah, I bootstrapped, and then more bootstrap. And sometimes you just got to go like, no, you know what? Let's go for this.
I'm a big fan of having alternative income when you're in the first stages as well. Like I did that with my business. I had a sort of I had some separate income to help me with just covering the rent and stop me having panic attacks and
Totally.
sleepless
Totally.
nights. And it did mean that I was a little crazy for a while, but I juggling two things, but it just kept me sane knowing that I had other income. So there's other ways to do it as well.
I agree. I've seen a lot of people like, will have a partner that has a regular job, and
Right.
the other partner kind of takes that risk, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I've seen
someone's the
that.
risk taker. Yeah, that
Yes,
model works
exactly.
too. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But I also think there's something to be said for having a bit of hunger as well.
Yes.
If you're too comfortable, then you don't really, you know, push
Yeah,
it.
I had two kids to feed. I was like,
Yeah.
failure is not an option, you know? I was working in
Mr.
my
Ben
basement.
Fox is on his mission. Yeah,
Yes. But you're right. That is a powerful motivator to get
yeah,
up in the morning,
yeah,
solopreneur, work in your basement. That was what I was doing all by yourself. Like it takes a lot of sort of chutzpah to get going. And so, yeah,
yeah,
sometimes the need creates that hunger and that
yeah.
passion to every day get up and grind, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Love that. All right. Now, this is the fourth question. It's always a little, I don't want you to name names or anything, but do you see any newer companies coming through getting things consistently wrong? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I don't necessarily follow startups. I follow the big event agencies in the world. Like Imagination was a company in London that I
Yeah,
work for that's unbelievable. I follow the big boys because that's kind of where I want to go to.
right.
So I'm not so sure about how to answer that for the startup mode, but I would say what I see, especially as agencies get larger, is they always go back to the well on creative. So we're supposed to be a creative industry and doing new, cool, creative things all the time. But I find that event managers are risk adverse. They would rather get it right and do something vanilla and boring than to take a risk, especially in the corporate space. So I find that
Yes.
creative can get really boring, really bland, no risk taking. And I think as these agencies grow and they're servicing the same corporate client again and again, it becomes very vanilla and bland and not great. And so it just becomes an exercise in doing the same thing over and over and making money.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things I see. And that's actually an opportunity for a medium-sized agency like us to come in and be different and creative and be like, no, this is great, but why don't we try this,
Yeah.
you know? So
I love that you've said that because actually, I mean, creative is one thing that I've always brought to the table when it comes to my events, and I know you have as well. So yeah, and looking at a lot of events, a lot of organizations just need to deliver that event. They just deliver the same thing every year, and they forget. And maybe it's because they're too busy or they just don't have the time to like change track. And so that's where organizations like yourself, like you said, medium size, you can come in and say, let's switch this up. It's not going to add any cost. It's not even going to add any stress. We're going to take it off your hands, but we'll make it much more interesting.
yeah, and it's the same attendees every year. They get bored too. It's just like anything. Do you want to go to the same thing every year? They're just like big
Yeah.
yawn, you know? And so, yeah, I just think by
But
their nature, we want to be creative, but we're so risk adverse that sometimes it creates kind of blah, So, and then
I
the other thing.
also want, yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah. You had
The other
another
thing I
thing.
was
Go
going to
for it.
mention too is I mean, going back a few years, I noticed that most people skipped the pandemic. They were just like, pause, we're not doing anything. Whereas
Right,
we had an opportunity, and since then we've done over 300 virtual events. So I
which
think
is
that a lot of
amazing.
people in the industry just hit pause and we're just like, I'm not doing virtual, which I
Right.
find silly. Like, why would you not pivot to a different
Just
opportunity?
pivot, right? Yeah.
Yes. And so I think there was a lot of ego involved in that and a lot of, I don't know what it was. It was politics in America involved with that. I had many an argument with people about doing virtual, and they were like, "You're betraying the live event industry." And I'm just like, "That's crazy." Again, I'm trying to just feed my kids here. So,
This is not one of my questions, but just on that subject, because you say you're continuing with the virtual, do you see virtual events on the rise? I mean, live events came back strong and hard, and we
yeah,
all learned very quickly that we all love live events and they're not
sure.
going anywhere. But tell me a little bit about your experience with the virtual scene.
Yeah, yeah, thank you for that one. I think that people had Zoom fatigue, in 22,
Yeah.
23, and they like literally went to zero.
Oh, we all
But I,
did. We were done.
yeah, yeah, but I think that marketers are seeing that, like for an example, like just on the ROI calculation, like we can do a virtual event probably for about a third or a quarter of the price of what it would cost to do a live event. We can also hit the entire country or the entire
Yeah.
world all at
Yeah.
one go. So there's certain things that virtual events can do that live just can't.
Just can't
And I
do.
think clever marketers are starting to pick up on that and realize
Yeah.
that, hey, maybe instead of spending $400 a person for a fancy venue and a steak and, for maybe a prospect that's just kicking tires, maybe invite them to a virtual first and kind of start the
Yeah.
conversation, spend less money on them and see if they're for real. So I guess the long-winded answer to that question is I think that it's coming back, but it's never going to be like it was during the pandemic, thank God. But I think it's going to be a healthy mix, maybe 10 to 15 to 20% of the mix. But it's still always going to be predominantly live, especially with the advent of AI, with everything being so
Yeah.
inauthentic and fake. I feel like live events is one of the only marketing channels left that is truly
Correct.
authentic. You can't
Just
AI
people
live
to
event.
people, that energy
Exactly.
that you get from an authentic interaction. Yeah.
Yeah, and so AI is actually going to help in that regard because it's going to make it even more important. So
Yeah.
whereas AI has challenges, and we can go down that rabbit hole, I'm actually buoyant on
Yeah.
our industry. I'm investing everything I got into the live event space and the event space in general. So
Yeah.
long. Yeah, so answer is it's gonna be a small mix, I think, in the
Yeah,
future.
I
But
think it's, yeah. And also, I have another small theory, and it's kind of off topic, but that's fine. Is I think the younger generation who are more used to being on their screens and more used to connecting with people remotely, they're going to feel more natural. So in 10 to 20 years, I think they'll be more, they'll be more, I guess they'll feel more comfortable doing it, right?
I agree with that, and I also think that technology will follow that as well. We'll get to the point
And
where
the
a virtual event
technology,
will have like
yeah.
a hologram standing next to you or something, like
Let's see,
so.
let's see. You
Yeah.
and I both know that a hologram is no cheap feat. So,
Yes, 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 yes.
yeah,
Yeah, nowadays, but in the future, we'll
yeah.
see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, listen, last question. What's the biggest impact that you've seen on your growth? Where's that come from?
So I alluded to it earlier. I think I was really lucky to
Yeah, you did.
work directly with ownership, and I think that that has influenced me tremendously. I think that I've had an unfair advantage, to be fair, working in my
Right?
dad's management consulting company growing up. I've had all the legs up. I've had good university. I've had all the opportunities. So it's not all about me. Like I've been put in a very lucky
No?
position, but I also grinded. I grinded hard
Yeah.
for 15 plus years working for these people and working 50, 60 hours a week and working weekends and traveling. And I worked my butt off. But I was always in the back of my mind, learn from these people, grow as a person, make myself as good as I can make myself. And then when it's my shot to start my own thing, I'll be ready and I'll have a lot to offer. And so, yeah, I was put in blessed to be put in an amazing position, and I took advantage of it and worked my butt off, and got to where I am now. And
So you'd say the education, the experience, the learning that you put into your early career gave you the opportunity to really grow and build on that.
yes, yes. And then the
Yeah.
second point I want to make is that I was always a reluctant salesperson. I always felt it was kind of dodgy and whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
started realizing as I got further into my career that if I want to do the type of events that I want to produce, I got to put a sales hat on and go sell it first, or else I'm never
Yeah.
going to produce it. I hate to
Yeah.
say it, but producers are a dime a dozen. It's the people that can go sell the project and produce, or give it to a
Build the
producer.
business.
That's the business. That's it. You have
Yeah.
to sell. You have to sell. So
You
just
have to.
accept it. You're selling
Yeah.
yourself. You're selling your creative ideas. You're selling your team. You're not some, used car salesman selling some lemon. You're selling a
No.
quality product, you know?
Yeah, I think it makes it a lot easier to sell something when you really believe in the product. It's a
Exactly.
no-brainer. Yeah.
And people pick up on that energy. I've been told a
Yeah.
lot that I'm a good salesman, not because I'm slick and all that. It's because I bring the energy of like, I hear what you guys are saying. I think this is the solution for your event. And I sell with passion because I love it. And people pick up on that.
But it's confidence, and authentic confidence comes from knowing you can do it, and you
Totally.
have that. You know you can do it. You're not going to say something you can't do. You're going to say, I can do this, and this is what's going to happen. And the someone who's listening is going to go, done. I'm buying that
Yes.
product. I'm in
Yes.
good hands with Ben. Yeah.
Yes, I always say we're selling trust more than anything. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, our clients, it's their jobs are on the line. Like if we fail at the event, they literally can get fired. So it's like it's
Right.
no joke. So they're buying trust, and
Brilliant.
execution, obviously. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
So put on your sales hat from Ben.
yeah, yeah. I think don't be so afraid to do it, I
Yeah.
guess is really my advice. Like it's okay. It's not dirty unless you want it to be, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah.
So you can be an ethical salesperson, I can say. Yeah.
Well, there you have it from Ben Fox. Ben, where do you work out of? Can you just remind us one more time? Where do you work out of, and what is your area scope of work?
Yeah, yeah. So we're here in the suburbs of Denver, Colorado, in the U.S. I've lived here for about 8 years. We actually, I just did I kind of added it up. We've done events in 32 states in the U.S.
Wow.
and 4 countries in our 7 years of operation. I would love, love, love to open another office in Singapore at some point.
You heard it
So
that you heard it there. Anyone
yeah,
looking
that's been
for
on my radar for a long time. But yeah, so we're global, but mostly focus in U.S. and Canada. We've also produced
Great.
in every province of Canada as well. Is it province or
Fantastic.
territory? I'm not sure. Anyways,
Yeah.
so we do
Well,
a
all
lot of
right.
stuff in
Well,
Canada.
thank you, Ben, for your time and for this conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. This was super fun, and I'd love to do it again anytime. And I wish you luck on this podcast journey of yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And let's check in again soon.